everyone, and welcome to Marketing and Sales Over Cocktails, the weekly podcast that helps you grow your business, improve your life, and enjoy yourself along the way. I'm your host, Alan Langer, and every week we try to bring you the best thought leaders, the best business leaders, and the best minds out there to help you succeed in business and in life. So sit back, relax, grab your pad, your pen, and your favorite beverage, and enjoy the next episode of Marketing and Sales Over Cocktails. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Marketing and Sales Over Cocktails. This is your host, Alan Langer, and we are, what are we at? Episode 34 tonight. We are just rolling along with episode 34, and sit back and relax and definitely get a cocktail tonight because you are going to enjoy my guest coming up. I've got Shaily Hakimian, right? I think I said that correctly.
Yeah.
Shaily is the social media Sherpa is what she calls herself. And there's not a more appropriate name once you meet her. But she's awesome. She's going to talk about all things social media tonight and all things small business. So you pull up a chair because this is going to be some good stuff tonight. A lot of golden nuggets coming your way. So I don't want to put too much pressure on her. Before we get to Shaily, a couple of notes. The podcast is Marketing and Sales. The website, my mistake there. The website is marketingandsalespodcast.com, marketingandsalespodcast.com. The Ask Alan segment, if you go to that website, you go to the contact section, send me a question. If I read your question, and we got a good question coming up tonight, I will send you a free autographed copy of my book. So give that a shot. I've sent out 33 books so far, and you could be lucky 34. We've got a question from all the way from Billings, Montana, and we are on the East Coast. So cool stuff. So anyway, without further delay, Shaily, welcome. How you doing tonight?
Alan, I'm doing great. Every time we get on any call together, it's always a party. And you just talked me up to all the viewers or guests of this party.
Yeah,
so
you got a lot to live up to right now.
Apparently, so much to live up to. You're quite the star. I saw you on another show earlier today, and I was like, oh my gosh, Alan is keeping busy on all the shows today.
I'm on all the shows today. Now I got my own show. Well, what's really cool is this is going to be the first time in the history of this podcast that we've got someone who's actually going to make the cocktail as she's here. So now she said she's a self-proclaimed not a cocktail drinker, but she wanted to do something. So I'm going to toss this over to you. I'm just having a nice little rye whiskey here. That's all I have. So nothing hard to make. I had to pour it over ice. What are you going to do for us?
Ice. That's a great idea. So I love a good cocktail, but like I only get drunk maximum 4 times a year, if anything. And I have not drank much this year. So I usually look at the guidance of people who are expert drinkers. So I have a slew of products near me. 2 bottles came from a very snazzy Google conference I went to. And they're like, we want to get rid of these bottles. And I think they're quite snazzy. They're like mezcal and like something else. I don't know what this is.
That is tequila.
Tequila, and then this is the mezcal. I don't know. I have no idea, but they left these over, and I was like, great, this will supply my parties for like the next like 4 years here because
Definitely,
I don't drink so
yes.
much.
The mezcal is tequila. I didn't see the other one, but square bottles is usually gin or tequila. So let's see.
Yeah, it's something fancy Mexican.
It looks tequila.
Here.
Yep.
Tequila. We've got that, and I've had this Myers rum in my fridge for I don't know how long, probably 5 years. I don't know if it's still good. I don't know if this is it empty? Maybe I should. Oh, it might actually be empty. Well, let's clean out my fridge tonight, friends. That's what we're doing.
Good, because I don't want you to mix the tequila and the rum. Don't do that.
And I know there's a big sickness going around, so I thought maybe get a little Corona.
Oh, there you go. The Corona seltzer. Okay.
Fake White Claw. I don't know how to make cocktails, so I'm imagining I should taste all of these items. Oh, and I have lemon juice. I don't know, but I'm thinking I should take shots of a lot of these things just to try it. I am not drunk yet, everybody. So maybe I should try one of these first. Maybe I'll taste one of Taste
the tequila. I think you should do that.
Is this the tequila? This one?
Yep.
I have a fancy glass. It's like
put a little bit in that and taste the tequila. And I
have blackberries. Like
don't put the blackberries. Well,
don't put the blackberries. Okay, just the tequila by itself.
Just do the tequila by itself. We'll do a virtual cheers. You can do a shot, and then you can drink your seltzer.
Oh gosh, if I
Good,
ever want
that's
to be a teacher for children again, this is gonna not be a good idea.
She's coming back to haunt you.
And it's
Cheers.
supposed
Thanks
to be 47%
There you go.
alcohol. So
Cheers.
this is cheers.
Mazel
L'chaim, we
tov.
say.
All right,
Mazel
l'chaim,
tov.
yes.
There we go. L'chaim,
Go ahead.
salamati, salute. I got Italian, Persian,
Bottoms
whatever.
up. How's that?
Bottoms up, everything. Okay. Woo! Okay.
All right. Shiley's ready.
Oh my gosh. I am a lightweight as well.
Okay. So
Ask me where I keep my alcohol stash. Okay. This is embarrassing. Ask me where I keep it.
Where do you keep it?
It's at the top shelf of my bathroom. Top shelf alcohol, top shelf of my bathroom. I'm like, where do I put stuff I don't use every day? This is pretty good.
Well,
Here, I'm gonna have a little more of this. Here we go.
All right, good. Just be careful. I want you to last the whole 40 minutes. So
I'm here for you. Okay, now that I'm drinking, L'chaim, whatever. Now that I'm drinking, what we're gonna dive into some things today.
Yeah, let's talk about. Well, first of all, tell people who you are and tell people why you are called the social media Sherpa. I love that title because Sherpas guide people to where they need to go. So
exactly.
Tell people a little bit about yourself.
I have not forgotten who I am just yet. So here's why or how I got to this. I learned how to make friends on the internet, and I had no idea that skill was going to be so valuable to the business that I do now. As a kid, I didn't have a lot of friends. I was bullied, whatever. Found my community on MySpace. Managed it. I had a MySpace group. People loved me. I was a leader, whatever. It was great. Didn't realize it was anything special till I was applying for my first paid social media job. And they're like, have you managed online communities before? And I was like, why does it feel like it's something that I do? And I was like, wait a second, light bulb. I was MySpace managing online communities back in the day. Yes, I have. And I made a vague version of the weird thing I was doing on MySpace. Maybe you'll ask me about that later. I don't know. Weird hobbies. But that started my career in social media. I was doing a lot of freelance for nonprofits, a lot of stuff in the Jewish community, like jumping around here and there. And I was advertising. And I imagine a lot of your people know about BNI.
Yes.
Right.
I think everybody does.
I think you've even been a BNI. Yeah. Right. So I was going to this BNI meeting. Fortunately, this lady needed a sub and her partner was passing away and she needed some help. And so I kept getting called into the same BNI group and they got to know me over a while. And one lady was like, Shaily, I know you're good at social media. And a lot of times these business owners, they weren't at the place to pay me the premium of what it costs to manage my social media. But she was like, I'm trying to do my own social media. Can I just pay you to sit down with me and teach me how to do social media so that I can do better on Instagram? And I was like, wait a second. I studied education in college at Indiana University. I love empowering and motivating people. Wait a second. This is like my dream job. Let me go do this. And it forever changed my life. And for the last 2.5 years, I've been primarily teaching social media.
Wow.
And that's been my world. Now I say it's teaching, but I told that to a mentor of mine. You should meet Catherine John. She's awesome. She's a cool, she was a radio personality here in Chicago, and she's also a speaker and a speaker coach. She's been my speaker coach even. And she was like, Shaily, you don't want to use the word teacher or tutor anywhere in your language. She's like, people hate that term. They hate it. Yep. She's like, Shaily, I've been holding back on, see, Alan, you know this, huh? You've heard this. So she's like, Shaily, I just want to tell you, I really hate your business name. Because at that point I was something else. It was like, you're a social media teacher, or God knows what. And she's like, I hate your business name. I didn't want to offend you or tell you. And I was like, are you kidding me? Tell me. I'd rather the best insights come from my network. And she's like, Shaily, I've been thinking of the word Sherpa. And I was like, okay, let's go with it. Overnight, I changed my website to Sherpa. I was like, okay, let's just see what happens. And then people were like, oh, I love that name. That sounds great. And I was like, oh, you're a guide. And just like you said, you're a guide. You're taking people around the internet. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. And I kept seeing Sherpa scooter, Sherpa mattresses, Sherpa accounting, Sherpa. And I was like, if anything's a sign, that's what it is. So I feel like she's like my drag mother, where she gave me my business name. And I feel like that's how it came to me. And now it's mine. It's trademarked. It's my thing.
Good.
And
you
now
trademarked it. Good for you.
It's trademarked. Yes. That was an investment. That was a fun little investment over there last year. It took 6 months, but it came. But anyway, I love empowering business owners to do their own marketing, especially the networkers and the connected people. Mm-hmm. They already have an audience that they can automatically win with on social media with a few key steps. And it's a lot less crazy than they think. And it's a lot less effort than they have put in probably on their own.
Yeah, so I'm sure.
It's a little bit about me.
No, but that's awesome because, you got to establish yourself as the expert in this, and you are. And what I love about this podcast is not only does my audience learn stuff, I learn stuff. I learn stuff from everybody I interview, and it's great. And I'm in the middle of that I'm on LinkedIn, and I do pretty well on LinkedIn, but
the best.
I do okay on Instagram. I just started, don't tell anybody, but I started a TikTok account. I got an hour tutorial from my 12-year-old, and she showed me.
I love your 12-year-old.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, we have to tell them about what your 12-year-old is doing because I love the website. Anyway, we'll talk about it later maybe, or now.
Yeah.
Your 12-year-old's great.
She's going to be on she's booked on 4 live streams and podcasts coming up. 4th. I was her agent this week.
She's so lucky. Her website, it's seriously like most businesses are nowhere near that website.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I'm on TikTok, and I realized today was the first day I realized that I can't post the same things on all the platforms.
You just learned the biggest lesson of social media.
I was like,
Adapt.
I posted the same. I got a lot of engagement on. I had this one post about what not to say to a customer, and it's actually went viral. It's gotten a ton of traction. But I put it on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and on TikTok. And here's the thing: on TikTok, I had to break it into 3 videos. So many people were mad at me. I got so many comments saying, "Why would I watch 3 videos when you could?"
Oh,
I don't take it personally, but everyone on LinkedIn is like, "Oh, this is the best thing ever," and then TikTok people were mad at me. So I'm like, it's a completely different audience.
Oh, it's okay. You're allowed to divide it into 3 videos. Also, rumor has it they're going to come out with 3-minute videos on TikTok, and they're trying to kill YouTube. That's like the rumor I just heard. As someone who is certified addicted to TikTok, but you know what? Yeah, because some people have to watch part 1, part 2, part 3. Here's where people get mad: is if you say, "Oh, I'm going to give you part 1," and then you never give them part 2 and part 3, and they look for it and they can't find it. That's where people get really mad. You have to make it super easy for them to get all the content.
I put them all 3. I put 3 up, right? They're all at the same time. I didn't even wait a day. And I got like 5 people mad at me because they had to watch 3 videos.
Well, they're missing out. They're not, by the way, there's so many people terrible at sales on TikTok. They have no idea. They're like, I sell this product for $10 and it takes me $20 to make it. And I'm okay with that. And I'm like, girl, start charging for what your stuff is worth. Nobody is owed your service. Stop this madness. They need you. Believe me, the TikTok creators need you.
Yeah.
They need it.
All right. So
anyway, yes.
So let's talk small business here because and social media. You mentioned something in our pre-call that you call referral network amplification. Yes. Tell me what that means. And you said that's your jam. So what does that mean?
This is my jam. Okay. So I mean, you're a great example, right? You're a connector. A lot of people know who you are. How do you stay? And this is a question for everybody in your audience here. You're gonna answer it in your minds. Mm-hmm. How do you stay in touch with all the people that already love and adore you for your business? Now, I don't know. You tell me the sales people, people in sales, they're supposed to call and check in with people and follow up. I think that's supposed to be like a sales rule. Am I hearing that right? Have I heard this before?
Yeah. I mean, old time sales, you're supposed to follow up. You should keep in touch with your customers. Touch points. Blah blah blah. Yep.
Now, my impression, and you tell me, your audience, is that a lot of people are probably like everyone's neglecting something in their business, but that's one thing I feel like if you had to keep calling your old customers or checking in with them, people I think are terrible at that. Am I right?
100%. Oh, 100%. It's probably the biggest fault of most salespeople. Absolutely.
And that's salespeople. This is where sales is their business. Now, business owners, right? We have to be our own lawyer, our own manager, our own producer, our own whatever, everything. We have to do everything. Our own accountant, bookkeeper, whatever it is. And that's something, the getting engaged with past people, that's your bread and butter. That's where your best referrals are going to come from. That's where your repeat business is going to come from. Yet that's the thing that people are neglecting. So how do you stay in touch with everybody? And how do you do it without driving yourself insane or without too big of a process, right? So this is where I'll give you this example. On my social media, people are like, how is Shaily getting so much traction? I've seen people write brilliant posts and get 0 engagement. It's because every darn human being, or at least 80%, 90% of the people that I'm connected to on LinkedIn, I have some sort of relationship with, whether it was a meaningful interaction at a networking event, in person, online, an introduction that somebody made. They all have some sort of context and experience with me, right? And that's what good networkers are, right? They have relationships. Mm-hmm. But now every time I post, because LinkedIn loves us, you and me, I'm sure, it reminds everybody I know that, hey, I'm Shaily, I'm here, and here's something you didn't know you needed to know. And that's what keeps people in their head, is that there's a lady that's I use this example. She used to work for the mayor. She's a very big deal here in Chicago. And I look up to her. I worked with her on a project 4 years ago. We haven't had a phone conversation in years. And I just went to say, thank you so much. And this is a hack. I always thank people for engaging with my content, especially if they're important to my network. Great excuse to interact with people without having to pick up the phone. And I said, hey, thank you so much for interacting with my post. And she's like, hey, Shaily, I'm in the middle of something, but I have questions for you. what could she possibly have questions about?
I wonder.
Has she ever liked? It's not going to be tequila, but speaking of tequila, I might try this one. I'm going to take a sip of whatever this is. I've got a little lemonade or a little lemon.
You need to wake yourself up a little bit. Come on, get some.
I know. I'm having so much fun. I should drink before every interview I ever do. No, I'm just kidding. You've created a monster. Okay, cheers again. Let's see what this is. Woo! Okay. I don't know if this is a problem. I don't know if this is offensive. I don't even.
Fun. You're not driving.
Wait.
You're driving a podcast. We're good. You'll be okay.
So that is ultimately what I want to nudge people to realize is that if you can introduce the individuals from your real life network to the platform, if hopefully they're already on LinkedIn or whatever platform, maybe that's Instagram. It depends on where you are, where your people are most excited to be on and you're most excited to post on. If you can drive them to that page, they will see reminders that you are fabulous and that you can help them with something. And it's not as crazy as you think. Now, there's a few other nuggets in there too. Well, do you want to know if you were, what do you want to, go for it.
I do want to know all of your nuggets, but I want to make a comment on something that you just reminded me of, because I think what you said is so important, because the one thing I hear, I get pushback on when I tell people that they need to post content that's valuable to people. They need to post stuff that, people need to know what they don't know, or they want to know something. Right. But people are like, I don't want to give away my secrets. I'm like, well, first of all, they're probably not secrets. And you know stuff that's going to help people. However, they're not going to take what you know and then turn it into, overnight success. They're still going to need your help. So the more value you give, the more stuff you can tell people. Just tell them, the guy that helps you build a house, that says this is how you build a house, and then when you start to build a house and you screw up, guess who you're calling? The guy who helped you start build a house. You're not calling the guy who didn't tell you to, give you any tips. So don't get hung up in, I'm not going to tell people all my secrets. I'm not going to say too many things. Give people value and they will come to you. Would you agree?
Amen to that. Yes. 100%. It's like, what are the things that they want to know? And can you give it to them? I always say the easiest, dumbest thing that solo or small teams don't do is like, what is your FAQ that you always get? What are the questions that you get on sales calls? What are the questions that people come to your business asking? Use that first, put it on your website if you got it. And second off, use that content put it as content, like on any platform, shape it to the platform. And that's going to be the biggest thing. The other thing, and honestly, the thing you just said about being scared to give away all your secrets, I am nervous about that. But the reality is, you're right, is that when people give away information, who else are they going to trust?
Right.
There's a lady on TikTok, I love her, called Call Her My Credit. And she has taught me everything about credit. She gave it all away for free. And I'm like, who do I know who's taught me about mortgages? Like, there's a million mortgage brokers out there, but she's given away all this insight. She's the only person I trust because I already know that her information is valuable to me, right?
100%. Yep. And that's why, I talk about sales all the time. I talk about customer service. I talk about goals, and people contact me because they say, and here's the other point is like, and I think this is important too. People get caught up in like, oh, I only got 20 likes today, or I only got 31 comments, or like, first of all, that's 20 more people that liked you yesterday. But don't forget that if 20 people liked it, but 1,000 people saw your profile or saw that post, that's 980 people that still saw your stuff. They're lurking, and they will eventually say hello.
Gosh, I have so many things I want to say, but lurkers are real.
Go ahead. Fire
away. One of my clients, she says this. She's like, what is it? Like 5% of people are going to like or engage or whatever. Majority are just going to see it, right? Like that lady I mentioned earlier. She was hella lurking. The only comment she clicked on was one that somebody else had posted about me on a podcast. Never on my content, by the way. So I caught her on that. But the vanity metrics, right? We're all looking at the numbers, and I'm like, and this is the thing that people need to realize. It's not a magical customer machine. It's a relationship facilitating machine. Right. Is that it's letting you build relationships at scale. Like all the people we follow on social media, have we ever talked to them on the phone? No, because we see their content, we see their information on a regular basis, and we get excited about it. So the reality is it's that you're thinking about every person as an individual, but you're scaling it. So whenever you see the 20 likes or the 20 comments, look through that list. If anybody in there is a great target for you, or a lead, or someone that can refer you, that's the dumbest excuse to be like, thanks so much. We haven't talked in a while. I hope you're doing well. Bye. Because now they think about you and they appreciate you. And because I'm a certified teacher, I can tell you this positive reinforcement is a real strategy. When you tell somebody they're doing a good job, liking and commenting on your post, guess who's going to feel way better about liking and commenting on your post? Because they feel appreciated. Huh? It's 100% true. 100% I've taught this to clients. It's true. What?
It's 100% true. You're right. You just
It is
engage with people. Just get on there, look at your comments. I just like you, I respond to every single comment on every post.
huge,
And
huge.
the post I had yesterday, I've got, I don't know, 120 comments. That's one of the bigger ones I've had. I've responded to every single one.
Yes. And it boosts the post. It like LinkedIn, I'll tell you this, it boosts the post up. Every comment on it, whether it's yours or someone else's, tells the LinkedIn algorithm this post is on fire.
Yeah.
So utilize that. I'm sure for the other platforms as well. Because then here's the other thing is that when that person looks at your reply, that's bringing them back to your content one more time.
Content. Right.
That's twice. That's 2 touch points, right? What is the sales thing, right? You need 100 touch points before they think about buying. Like you're creating the touch points and it does not take a lot.
No, it really doesn't. And the strategy I utilize is an hour a day in the morning. I start my day with a customer. I forget what I call it on my calendar, but 9:30 to 10:30, I'm on LinkedIn and I go through the post and I go through the comments and I'm like, this is my target customer. This is not. And that's how I start relationship that way.
This is why you're Alan. This is why you're so big as you are. This is why you're the highly sought out speaker. You get it.
All right. What's your next nugget? I want to hear your next. You said you got a bunch.
Well, I've got so many nuggets. So I've been writing some down here. One of the things that you said that I want to highlight again is because it's something that I am self-conscious about is like, do I give away all my stuff? And this took me a few years and I heard something from, I don't know how you feel about Gary Vee, but like Gary Vee, he exists. Some of us obsessed, some of us not obsessed, whatever. He said this thing. He's like, when people are, when you're giving it all away for free and you're giving all the value, which does work, they're not paying for the secret sauce, that little bit of insight that you're not sharing. They're paying to have an intimate relationship with you, whoever you are, or like something more personal of you, whether that be a group coaching call or consulting or you being on their staff, whatever it is, they're paying for a more intimate relationship. And when I heard that, I was like, that's a great point. They're not buying that secret tip that you have. They're buying you because they want you to walk them through whatever it is that they know that you can do for them. And that was big. That is not a social media nugget. That was just something that you said. And I was like, oh, that's something I've been processing for like a year. Yeah. So
because everyone out there has something that they know that can help somebody usually,
100%.
And share it. And if once you share it, I'm a firm believer, what you put out there comes back. It does.
100%. And that's the thing too, is that like what you put out there in your everyday life, IRL, when IRL was a thing, when you were in person at events, that world 100% reflects 100% of what happens on the internet world. Is that your relationships offline impact your success in your relationships online. Is that these people are very connected or they're charismatic or whatever it is that's what brings more people to you. So and that's what brings good relationships to you. If somebody doesn't like me at all, they're not going to like and comment on my post. If somebody adores me in real life, they're going to be like, yeah, I love Shaily. I'm going to support her. I'm going to give her a like. Right. Makes a huge difference. People are like, Shaily, how are you doing this? I'm like, years of making friends, decades, learning how to socialize. So that's the other thing. And the thing that I want to really say too, is that how do you get this referral network engagement system moving is, well, first we got to pick a platform. There's a lot of choices there and there's a lot of things there. I know for me, especially businesses who serve other businesses, LinkedIn, I'm just going to say LinkedIn is great for you. Yeah. But if I were you, I would make sure that all your best clients are friends with you on LinkedIn, because every connection they don't know, but they're signing up for your marketing. There's not enough people producing great content like Alan's doing or like what I'm doing. There's not enough folks. So when you are connected with someone, whenever they check LinkedIn, there's a very high chance that your awesome post is going to show up for them on their feeds. There's not very much competition. Right. And that's how they're signing up for their marketing without them realizing it. Right, same with email. It's discreet. And so here's the best part. And this works for especially Facebook. I told some clients this for Facebook and it works great. Facebook is hard to get in the algorithm. I said, don't just willy-nilly ask people to like your page. This goes for any platform. Don't ask them to just willy-nilly like it. Give them a personalized, hi, Alan. Would it be possible? I love working with you, whatever. Write it in your own words. I have this new Instagram page. Would you be able to support me on that and give me a like? They don't care. They're like, sure. But now they're going to see all your top 10 tips for whatever your business is very quick, very easily, because they're going to keep seeing your stuff and they didn't realize that. But it's a very easy ask to say, hey, check out my stuff. If anything, I would say get them on your email list, but social media could be a fun one too. But if you can drive them to an email, that's important. But that's what it is. If you make that personal ask, they're way more invested in engaging with your stuff and caring because you care about them too. Right. Is there a little hack that you would say? So we've got a lot of small business owners. Sure. Most of them are on LinkedIn because they're mostly B2B. But yes, my people.
how do they choose theirs? I hear a lot of people and experts saying you should be at least on two. Be on
It's
a
not
main
bad.
one and then have like your secondary one. How do you choose a secondary one? Is it based on your product, based on where your customers are? How do you do that?
It's tricky. And now I don't know if you're counting email in this, but email is
No, I'm
definitely a
not.
good one to have. You're not counting email, Craig.
Okay.
It's tricky. Here's what I did. This is what I would say. It really depends. Like, I like knowing that I know that my people are on LinkedIn. Like, I'm very careful about my Facebook, Twitter. I post podcasts on there. I'm less worried. But here's what I would say. I tell people to do this. And this will maybe illuminate. If they do what I say, this will maybe illuminate where to spend some time.
Mhm.
I made accounts everywhere for Shaily Hakimian or at Hakimian45. That's my handle. I put them on everything years ago. Anytime a new platform comes out, I make an account just for safekeeping. You never know. TikTok was Musically 4 years ago. I've had my TikTok for 4 years, right?
Have you really?
I've had it. I know, I hate to say this. Gary Vee was like, oh, get on TikTok, get on Musically. It's going to be huge one day. This was 4 years ago. There's a video on YouTube where he's like, get on it. And I was like, okay. And now I made lip syncing videos. It's embarrassing. Don't look. But but now everybody gives a shiz about TikTok. And guess who already has like 250 subscribers and a few videos that blew up already? This girl right here. So I would say this, like, am I committed to TikTok? No. But because I experimented, because I had them before anybody else, anytime that one of my friends got on that app, it would say, oh, your friend Shaily is already here. You should follow her. Why do I have 700 followers on Instagram when I've only posted like 13 times? Okay, it's because I was on Instagram when my little cousins overseas were like, you should get on Instagram. And I was like, okay. I've been on Twitter for like 100 years, right? Quora, the best one is Quora, right? I've been in Quora for like 9 years or something dumb. I have a friend who posts there all the time. I have way more followers
Quora?
than
I never
him.
even heard of Quora.
Quora, you answer questions for people on your business.
Q.
It's great.
Okay, Quora. Yep.
So, and it's insane, but everybody who signs up for Quora will get a notification saying, hey, your friend Shaily is already here. You should go follow her, right? So the earlier you get to platform, the better. So if they have that set up, they might see where it might be good. I know where my time is worth it on LinkedIn. I don't know where my time will be worth it. I'm playing with TikTok. I'm seeing if I love it, but I know that if I want to make something really work, I need to commit to being consistent. That doesn't mean I have to post 3 times a day on TikTok, even though that is sometimes what people say. Most people have no capacity to do that, especially when you're a business owner and you have 1,000 things to do. No. I tell people my secret. Maybe I told you this already. I only post once a month on LinkedIn right now because that's what I can keep up with. I've been doing it for 2 years, but I've been consistent. And that's what pays off, is that people see me constantly. Can I add one more thing to this?
You can add 10 more things.
I don't want to just talk throughout your whole podcast. I just feel bad, but I want to say my secrets here.
Go ahead. Fire away. I love it.
You should think of your social media like a TV show. You would hate it if your favorite TV show, what is it? What's the show that everybody loves? Let's say Game of Thrones or whatever. If Game of Thrones was like, we're just going to air 2 episodes and we'll air the next 3 in like 3 years, people would be pissed. They would get pitchforks and they would cause fires. They would hate that. But yet so many people's social media, it's like, oh, I'll post one here, I'll post one there. People want to see you consistently. It's a relationship that you're building. And even with TikTok, I remember seeing like this one guy who would be like in the bathroom giving tips about dating or something stupid. And I didn't see him for a while. I was like, where did he go? And it's like, he's gone. He's out of my mind. I like forgot about him.
Right.
And it's like, you find something that you can manage, that you can produce consistently. That's where the results come in. Now, before that, experiment the heck out of everything. You don't have to tell anybody that you're on TikTok, but Alan, you just told everyone you're on TikTok.
I told everyone I'm on TikTok. Yeah. So go check it out. It's actually called salestales.alanlanger.
Can we stock this right now?
Yeah,
we should totally look at this. Sales.
Go ahead. You're very good at working
it.
the computer while you're being interviewed, by the way. I learned that from the
Can I do that? Ooh, I'm already like watching other TikToks by accident here. There's a girl I met at a networking event. She's got like 1 million followers. No, she's got 117 followers. I met her at a networking event here in Chicago. I was like, how is she here?
I had 18 followers yesterday morning and I posted that one video I told you about, and now I have 256 overnight.
Are you? TikTok is magic here.
Up, baby.
Oh yeah, look at you.
Mad at you.
You got 30,000 people on the part 1 of this video.
Part 1 of the video.
30,000,
right?
You did pretty good. Look, I know people don't always love when it's like not the official way the platform goes, but those still can do well. So good for you. Yeah.
I'm experimenting, so
exactly.
I'll play with it. I'm just playing with it right now, but because I don't know, it's completely different audience, so we'll see. But
everybody follow. Here it
is.
Is that he's got nice professional photos. I'm like, shoot, I gotta get where Alan's at here. It's fancy. Okay, now I have to watch all of these. I followed you. You have 269 followers. Hello.
269. Look at that. I was at 248 about an hour ago. Woo-hoo!
Yeah, you're almost going to be allowed to go live when you hit 1,000. You're this close. But there's a lot of goodies on there, but it's worth experimenting with. And if you're consistent about it, there's some magic.
Yeah, but you're right. It does take time. You know, my intentional stuff, and I spend my time on LinkedIn like you. I post 3 times a week minimum on LinkedIn, but I have that carved out. Like, this is what I'm doing, these days. And my Wednesday posts are always my trailers for the podcast. I'm very consistent with that. Every single Wednesday I post my podcast trailer. And people like it. I get comments. Oh, looking forward to who you got on this week. So it's cool. So you'll be there in about 4 weeks, always 4 weeks ahead of time. So
that's good. See, that's the stuff, right? When you're doing it really well, you've got this planned out ahead of time, right? Just like a TV series, right? That's why they give it 2 years before they ever air a show.
Yeah.
They prepare it and they make sure it's right so that you can keep getting fed at that adrenaline every time they watch an episode.
By the way,
or whatever.
By the time people are listening to this, it will be 2021. So we have kicked 2020 to the curb officially.
You know what that means?
I think that means we need to have
another drink. Let's see. I'm going to make
lemon juice.
I don't know. I'm being a cheesy one here. It's kind of sour though. Okay, let's see. What am I going to do? Should I go back to the square one?
Yeah.
I mixed a little bit. I don't know if that was smart. I don't know. This is going to be a problem. I don't drink that up, but you know what? This is a great excuse. I feel like we've been buddies for years.
Yes, I know. It's great. And thank you for joining my networking group. Everybody loves you.
Oh, thank you for having me at your networking
Are you going to be on Al Getler's show?
Apparently tomorrow. And I have to follow you. What is this madness? I have to follow you. I have to follow you, and then I have to follow, what is it, 2 ventriloquists? I'm like, what is this? One's a famous comedian. I'm like supposed to go after what's his face? Jeff Dunham. Jeff Dunham. Yes. How do I follow Jeff Dunham? Like, he's actually legitimately famous. I'm like, the same guy's interviewing Jeff Dunham is going to interview me. I'm like, the same guy who interviewed Alan Langer is going to interview me. Like, what is this? Good. Anyway, totally I hope I didn't drink too.
No, have another drink. I want to ask you a couple more questions.
Yes, please. I'm here.
All right. So I'm looking at your stuff here, and let's talk about the broken relationship between sales and marketing. I know that's one of your things too.
So this is interesting, especially for like the small teams.
Yeah.
A lot of companies are like, I'm supposed to be on social media. You know, like the dentists, for example. Like the dentists are like, there's so many companies are like, here, we'll take your money and we'll do your social media. They don't know if it's good. They don't care. They just need someone to just post. Even like law firms, some of them will do it too. Drives me insane, but like whatever, like it's their business or whatever, and it's just they're literally just paid to do an adequate job. They don't care, and it's fine. Like they're making their money. I'm like, well, like let me help you, but no, we're give our money to these great marketed companies who suck. It's fine. So here's what's happening is that the person who has to the person who owns the business usually knows exactly who they're targeting, exactly who they're selling to. They know all of that stuff. But if they have a team, like that knowledge, you can't clone yourself. It's hard to get that same thing to your sales team. Now, again, I'm not a sales coach. You got the sales thing down. Mm-hmm. But so part of it is how do you get that information that only really the business owner knows so intimately, translated not only to your sales team, but your social media team to put the information out to the people that the business owner already knows are warmed up. That's the part where I think there's where I see a lack of communication between all of these departments, because social media isn't necessarily a sales. It can help with sales, but it's not a sales thing. It's a thing that can feed into something that can get into sales.
Right. So it starts the relationship of sales. That's what
exactly. And so I think that's where, I had this guy, right? He owns this company. It's a food company, super smart guy. They're like, when people talk to me, he's Italian or whatever. He's like, when people talk to me, they love what I do and but I'm trying, I don't want to be working in my business or I want to be on my business or whatever, the herd thing where they don't want to be doing the little grunt work. Right. And it's like, but I want my sales team to do it. I just hired them, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, how can we get his brain and his experience and his excitement to the marketing person? I got a little note from the marketing person. She's like, yeah, I'm doing all this stuff and I'm working really hard. I don't really know what content to post. I've already come up with everything. She's done a great job. She's done everything that I would expect a social media manager to do for this role. She's doing nothing wrong. That's what a social media person, they need to understand, is like an admin. It's like somebody who's literally there to post stuff for you. But the problem is that the business owner doesn't know how to speak social media. They don't understand how what they do in their business to market is actually related to the social media piece. The social media piece is warming up their people that they already know as a business owner are going to want and need this stuff. And that's where I want to bridge that gap, because I get how business owners work. Social media managers are freelancers. They don't necessarily think in the same way that a traditional business owner thinks.
Sure.
And so sometimes that gives social media managers a bad rap, but but there needs to be communication there. And so if that knowledge from the business owner was able to be translated, like the FAQ, the things that, people know them for, to the salesperson, to the marketing person, that facilitation is where all of the magic happens. And that's where I get really jazzed, because I have a whole other business that was never fulfilled. It's all about facilitating discussion. It's a communication problem.
Wow.
So
well, it's not only a communication problem, but it's an understanding problem. Like the social media person needs to understand the business, not just, you're right. They're just facilitating. Yeah. Just give me something to post and I'll put it up there for you. They're not understanding whether or not it's a good post or not, that's really an interesting point.
It's huge. The other thing I was going to say too, I was going to say something else too. Anyway, I had a train of thought here. Look, this is where the cocktails part comes in. Like I veto here. I plead the fifth here. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. How about giving me, I'm going to ask you the Ask Alan question.
Ooh, let's go. I'm ready for it.
And then we're going to end with another of Shaily's golden nuggets. How's that?
Oh gosh. Which golden nugget do I pick?
So you get to think about that as you're answering this question. So the Ask Alan question comes from, I love this, guy named Rich from Billings, Montana. So Rich writes, I love the social media folks you've had on so far on your podcast. Thank you, Rich.
Rich, I hope I didn't let you down today here.
And he writes, if you have another one, and I do tonight, one of the best, if you have another one, ask them if it's worth advertising if you're a small business on social media, or should I simply stick with organic outreach? Great question, Rich.
This is juicy.
How would Shaily answer that question?
This is big. I had someone else ask me this question. When it comes to specifically paid advertisement, unless you know what you're doing or unless you have some money to play around with and you feel invested in learning a new skill, I would be very careful with the ads if you're small and you're developing. It takes someone to know a few pieces before that works. I had this story. I went to this guy who was from like an insurance company, and I went to his office. I drove real far to go give them this pitch, and I was like telling him, I was like, he was like, oh yeah, I wanted to do ads and I paid for ads, and somehow Facebook accidentally took $600 from me, and I couldn't figure out how to call customer support to get it back. And I was like, do you realize here's a tip, right? Look up social media or look up ad support for Facebook. There is like barely a team there for you. If they take your money, you ain't getting it back unless you're like Coca-Cola. Yeah. Okay. Like they will take your money and there's no way of getting it back. So if you don't know what you're doing, that happens. The other thing I've been hearing about a lot is that companies who don't know the policies for like how Facebook ads work can get banned. So I have friends who work in like one of them is a sex therapist, right? So they're cracking down on anything sexually related. Even though she's doing education, she can get her entire account banned overnight if she puts the wrong ad out or anything like that. Anything CBD related can get banned overnight. I think there's certain industries that completely get banned if you try to post something that's in ads that's not okay.
Wow.
So I would say if you're going to spend money on ads, be very careful or have someone knowledgeable, or wait till you're a little bit bigger where you can get like a nice agency or something to help you, unless it's your life passion to learn ads. When it comes to, so this person is also asking, is it worth going to organic? Well, here's the only thing I can tell you that's great for organic. If they're thinking that if they have a referral business, and if they have a lot of past clients, you can create a social media that is going to be fruitful for you. Because if you can speak to your clients, which your clients, I'd hope you can speak to your clients. And if you can bring them individually, ask them one by one to come like you on whatever the page is that's going to be best for you. For a lot of businesses, it might be LinkedIn. If they follow you, your content will go in front of the right people, and they know more people that are just like them. And if you're nailing how you treat those people, there's more people that are going to be like them that could fall into the orbit because of the organic reach. But I would feed those people first, like put your oxygen mask on first before trying to find other people, right? If you do that, there's no doubt that you can do something good on organic because you've now created an audience for yourself. If you're hoping that they come from nowhere or fall from the sky, like you're mistaken. Right. Bring the people you've got and feed them first.
And do that with like we spoke about, valuable content will also bring people. And I agree with you 100%. And I haven't done an ad. I haven't spent one dime on advertising. And I had
time.
What's that?
You spent time, but
I spent time. Yeah, you spent time. You're intentional and you be consistent. But Chris Walker and I were the marketing guy from Linkedin. We're talking about this, and he actually said, if you are under $1 million gross revenue annually, don't touch advertising. If you're over $1 million, then you can start investing in it. But if you're under $1 million, it's not worth it. He goes, you can do everything organically. So it's an interesting question. I got this for you because we spoke about it on the other podcast. But I would have the same advice. work on your outreach with value content posts, and what Shaily said right there is reaching out to everyone that you know.
Yeah. That's
All
great.
right.
Yeah.
We are almost at 45 minutes, believe it or not. Can you believe that?
I know, right? We could talk all night. We could talk for
we've
weeks.
been talking for 45 minutes. So I know you have one more giant golden nugget that we're pulling out of the creek right now, and you're going to leave my audience with something they're going to go, I listened to this podcast yesterday, and you're not going to believe what I heard. I know you got something in there.
I might have a couple. Let's see. I don't know if these are going to be insane, but I think they're things that might surprise people. So let's go with it.
Go ahead.
Let's see. So one of them is, I don't advertise that I know this tip, but this is great. If anyone do you do any Facebook events?
I don't do any Facebook events, no.
Okay, so nothing on Facebook. Some people might have a business page. Maybe they'll have a Facebook event. If you have a Facebook event, anytime you post something in that Facebook event, it will re-notify a good population of the people in that event. So posting like, hey, I'm looking forward to seeing you, it will boost it up. Better, if you're like me, you create a 2-minute, a 1-minute live stream in the group. You don't even have to advertise that you're doing it. Facebook loves that you do live stream. Live stream will trigger a notification to go out to pretty much everybody who's invited to that event to be reminded that your event is a thing. So in the event itself, you put in a little live stream on a regular basis. Let's say if you have 3 weeks out, every week post something in there. It'll re-notify everyone to say, hey, are you going to this event? That'll be... Yeah. Oh, it's great. People don't do it. And I'm like, you should do it. This is a great hack. That's one of the best things you can do. Also, when it comes to events on Facebook, I always start with like my 10 best people. So like people that are my closest friends. I love to do a lot of social events for my friends. I pick the 10 best people and I make them join the event first, because when new people come to that event, if they only see that 2 people are interested in going, they're probably not going to want to go. So I start adding progressively who is more invested in there, so that when they see the event, they see that, oh, I'm one of 10 people invited. Oh, I'm one of 20 people invited. They seem like they matter more, and they see that other people are connected. So that's my Facebook event hack.
That's social proof right there.
Exactly. Social proof, right? You can stack the deck there. And I can also tell my closest friends, hey, can you mark that you're going? Because it'll make me look good. It'll help sometimes. I used to do that a few years ago. I was like, hey, can you just say that you're going? Yeah. And you can even choose that. That's one hack right there. Especially if you're promoting a live stream too, use the Facebook event. It's great. Okay. The other one, and this is funny, Twitter. I love Twitter. Now, do I need everybody who's watching this to get on Twitter and make themselves a celebrity on there? No, because it's a headache and a handful. It's a lot of work. But what Twitter has and nowhere else has is that you can get a hold of so many cool people that you could have never reached otherwise. So I may have told you the story. There was a group I do a lot of workshops for young women, empowering them on their LinkedIn to really showcase themselves so they can get jobs and opportunities and internships and scholarships or whatever. And I said, hey, who's your idol? And they were like, oh, I love the CEO of House Party. And she's like, I think they're both South Asian and they bond with each other. She's a woman. Very cool. And I said, okay, well, she's like, I wish I could talk to her. And I'm like, okay, let's go look at her social media. I looked at her LinkedIn. She's kind of there, whatever. And then I looked at her Twitter. She is posting like crazy and nobody is liking or commenting on this CEO's content. I'm like, if you, the 17-year-old girl, wants to become friends with her, be the one nice person that writes a thoughtful comment semi-regularly on her Twitter content. She will absolutely adore you. Guess who she might consider a mentor before anybody else?
Wow.
You. And, I've gotten like, I don't know, the CEO of K-Swiss. I've talked to him on there, Elon Musk's brother. Sometimes if I see somebody on a TED Talk, I'll like message them on there and they will get a hold of it. I even got, this is crazy. I got an autograph for someone because of Twitter with this guy. This is a crazy event story, but I got a guy an autograph because I had access to Twitter. So that's one thing. The other crazy thing for your salespeople, right? You have a lot of salespeople that might watch this.
I hope so.
So one company, I was trying to I looked at this company that I used to work with. They were like a recruiting tech company, software for recruiters or whatever. And I was like, if you want to know who a company's clients are, look to see who that company follows on Twitter. So I looked at the Twitter account.
Great point.
I know. And I was like, all of these people are our paying clients for this service. I was like, let's see who else has that same problem. And I was able to find so many names of companies that I was like, these might be good for me.
What a great hack. I like that. That's a good one. There's a little bomb right there.
Great. That was the finale hack.
That was finale hack. And that just reminded me, I'm going to end with my hack. So
do it.
On a LinkedIn hack, if you want to find out what other people value, go to their LinkedIn profile. And if you go to the reference section, don't look at what people wrote about them. Look at what they wrote about other people.
Oh,
and if they say, I worked with Shaily and I loved how on time she was all the time. Now you know that that's something that they value. Or
Oh,
I loved how
interesting.
she was very cordial. Whatever it is, you'll start seeing a little consistent little theme that they like about people, and you'll see this is what this person values, and that may become valuable for you
Huge.
down
Oh,
the road. You like that
that's a
one?
good one. I love that. So I've been brought on and hired to do workshops for job seekers. And I feel
Mhm.
like, you know, when back in the day, if I ever applied to a job, I never worked a traditional 9 to 5. I managed to avoid it somehow. But whenever I had like traditional interviews, I
Mhm.
would always try to look through their profiles, personal, private, everything. I would just like find them online, just see exactly what you said, what they value. And I was like, never in a million years did I see what they wrote about other people as a way to find that out. So I
Yeah.
think that I'm going to give that tip. And next time I do a career seeker training, that's going to be up
Yeah,
high
because
there.
you'll see, like, if they write, 3 times, I love how energetic they were in the interview, say, I'm a very energetic person,
Oh, better
there you
yet,
go.
show them that.
Yeah,
Oh my
exactly.
gosh,
So
with
it's a good little hack. So, all
show
right,
show don't
Shaily,
tell.
this has been amazing. I'm glad. If we went another hour, I think we both would be a little toasted, but
Look, I'll see you Friday. It'll be great.
you'll
We'll have
see
another
you'll
hour
see
on
me
Friday.
Friday. Good luck on Al's podcast tomorrow.
Oh my gosh,
Few of
yeah.
us
So now
are-
people can go back to it and watch it now a month later. Here you
Absolutely,
go.
absolutely. Well, Shaily, thanks again for joining me. This has been a lot of fun. I knew it would be.
Absolutely.
And everyone who joined us tonight, thanks for popping on Marketing and Sales Over Cocktails, episode 34 with Shaily Hakimian.
Yes.
And yes, I got it right. And remember,
Yes.
Marketing and Sales Podcast is the website. Send me a question. If I read your question for me and my guests, you get a free autographed copy
Nice.
of my book. Okay.
Amazing.
So it is
And
amazing. Everyone's
yes.
amazing. And Shaily, thanks again. And everyone,
Thank you.
we will see you again next time. Take care.
Yes. And can I? Oh,
Go
yes,
ahead. You can
thank
finish.
you.
Go ahead.
Oh, can I send them if they want to connect with me? You can follow me.
Sorry. Yes,
Can I do
I
that?
drank too much. Yes.
Oh no, you know what? We're drinking too much too. Have you seen how much booze I brought over here for the show? It's all good. I was gonna say,
Please tell everyone how they can find you.
if they want more LinkedIn tips, or anything like that, go follow me on LinkedIn. I don't bite, I promise. If you want to learn to
spell your stuff, because you have a very unusual spelling. Yes. How do they find you?
Your socialmediasherpa.com. I hope that's not too hard. Shaily Hakimian, SHAILY HAKIMIAN, or my last name 45. It's on every platform. If you want to learn to take your LinkedIn profile to the next level and attract the clients you want, and instantly access my favorite LinkedIn profiles on my website. So if you want to look at who's doing it well, you can see a ton of examples and make the connections for yourself. So that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. But that's my mistake for forgetting to do that at the end.
No. Can I give them my favorite social media quote that I'm going to burn into your head and everyone else's head?
Please, let me hear it.
Social media is about the people, not about your business. Provide for the people, and the people will provide for you.
Ooh. And on that note, we will say goodnight. Shaily, thank you again. Go visit her, yoursocialmediasherpa.com. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.